Hello everyone, so we know that Limbus' 3rd anniversary is coming up tomorrow, and in the event, everyone is going to receive a 000 identity selector from Season 1 to Season 6 as part of the login rewards. Now, many players are wondering who they should pick for their team. Now, first of all, I gotta say, before you pick anyone, don't be pressured into picking meta units because Limbus is a game that can be cleared with any unit whatsoever. I believe that so long as you know the ins and outs of the game, and you know what you're doing during a battle, chances are you're going to be able to win with even 000 IDs or IDs that are in the mid tier, not necessarily meta. So with that said, you should always pick the ID that you think look the best and the ID that you feel like fits your playstyle the best. That way you're going to get much more enjoyment out of the game than just blindly following a meta. With that said, however, there are choices that are better than other choices, and right now I'm going to go into detail who you should pick and why. Alright, let's start with the first sinner, Yi Sang. Now Yi Sang has very good IDs. From Season 1 to Season 6, you know, of course, excluding Walpurgi Snack and all the limited IDs, I'd say your best pick will be Ring Sang. Ring Sang is very strong for every team because the way Ring Sang works is that the more debuffs you stack on the enemy, the more he's going to reuse his skill 2. This one right here. Of course, he will work best in a bleed team, so if you're running bleed, you can also choose him. But if you don't have a good ID for Yi Sang and you're not specializing in a specific team, Ring Sang is going to be the go-to pick. Now, if you're specializing in a certain team comp, of course, you're going to have SOLEMN LAMENT Yi Sang, an incredible choice for syncing. And then you also have Liu Association Yi Sang, who is like a therapist for the burn team because of how much SP he regens through his passives. He is like an N-Corp Chromer, but even better, of course. Now next is Faust. Faust only has one obvious choice, it's Heisho Faust. This ID is broken as shit. There has been no ID from past to present that is as strong as she is. Except for, you know, the recently released Yi Sang. He's absolutely fucking bonkers. But anyway, she is so stupidly strong, all thanks to her defensive skill 3. When she stacks up enough Tianju Blade, she just fucking nukes everything out of the map. And she can do this practically every turn if you can, you know, keep track of your stacks well enough. And of course, she is also part of the strongest team in the game right now, which is the Heisho team with Lord Honglu right here, which is the team I run as well. I used to be a Rupture hater until you know, season 6 happened, and then they became the best fucking team in the game. If you really do want to go into other team comps, you could also maybe pick like Ardor Blossom Star for burn. I'd highly recommend against doing this because there are so many other different IDs that you could pick. If you already have Heisho Faust, then you could still pick another different character that worked really well with Heisho Faust instead of picking a different Faust. Okay? So chances are, don't pick anyone else except for Mao Faust. And if you already have Mao Faust, look into a different character that you can invest in. Now, the third sinner is Dawn. Don Quixote, I'd say her best ID, though I don't use the bleed team right now, is going to be Manager Dawn. Manager Dawn is, you know, at her release, absolutely fucking broken bonkers. She is very good. She is the core of the Kindred team. And all of her skills are incredible with unbreakable coins as well. So you can't go wrong running a bleed team if you choose Manager Dawn, although the bleed team is a bit hard to get going. Harder than a few other teams, especially the Rupture team. Rupture is so incredibly easy to get going. You can just press win rate and then win every single match. That's just how it goes. Otherwise, if you're running Rupture, if you really need to run Rupture, you can pick T-Corp Dawn. She is someone, this ID is something that I would recommend as well. But if we're talking general strength, we're gonna have to go with Manager Dawn. Ryoshu. Now, Ryoshu has really good IDs that are from way back. For some reason, her IDs don't really fall off. I'd say, for the sake of simplicity and for the sake of general news, you can't really go wrong with W Ryoshu. She's incredibly self-sufficient. You don't really need to run her in a charge team comp to reap the rewards of her kit. She can just charge up on her own and then blast the enemy with her skill 3, which can roll astronomically high. But if you're specializing into Rupture, you can't go wrong with Mao Ryoshu, of course. Then we have Meursault. Meursault has... Now, first of all, it's quite clear that the Thumb Meursault is going to be the best choice that you can make if you don't have Blade Lineage. But if you do have all of the Blade Lineage IDs for some reason and you don't have Blade Lineage Meursault, you're going to want to go and pick Blade Lineage Meursault because he is the backbone of the entire team and he makes the whole team work, makes the whole team stick together. He also is one of the best, if not the best, poise supports in the game. And if you're running any poise team, he is going to be an invaluable member. However, of course, if we're talking individual picks, it's going to go to the Thumb Capo Meursault. You can't go wrong with him. Then moving on to Honglu. Similar to Faust, he only has basically one correct option. It's to get Lord Honglu. This isn't because other Honglu IDs are bad per se. All of the Honglu IDs are good, if not decent at best. None of his IDs are bad in my opinion. It's only because Lord Honglu is absolutely bonkers. Lord Honglu can clear any content. He has some of the most broken skills in the game. His skill 3 is 2 skills in 1. No, 3 skills in 1 if you're running Heisho, of course. And this skill can nuke, this skill can clash well. This skill can help you do so many things that are previously impossible for any other ID in the previous seasons to do, right? So you're going to want to pick Lord Honglu even if you don't run Rupture. Same case with Xaliu Faust. If you don't run Rupture, you're still going to want these 2 characters no matter what. No matter what. If you already have Mao Faust, get Lord Honglu. Now, you could say that Mao Faust is more valuable than Lord Honglu when you're picking them without the other. But I'd say this is a preference, okay? You go with who you like more. It doesn't really matter if you want to take Lord Honglu or you want to take Mao Faust. However, right now there is a Lord Honglu banner going on, so you could pull him and you could get him and pick Xaliu Faust after. So it all depends on, you know, who you have, what you want, who you like more. Moving on, we have Heathcliff. Heathcliff, it's definitely going to be Wild Hunt Heathcliff. He was broken at launch. He's still broken now. He has like very unique mechanics. The thing that really separates some IDs from others are their unique passives. And his unique passives will literally have your sinners deny death. Nobody else has this in the game. And if they do have it, and I don't remember correctly, then it's not as strong as he does. Also, he is one of the IDs that can scale up in a match really well. He doesn't need to work in a sinking team. He's already good without a sinking team. Very good ID. Very good. I can't recommend enough. Not as strong as Xaliu Faust or Lord Honglu, however. Then you have Ishmael. Ishmael hasn't had a strong ID in quite a while. You could argue that Murakumo Ishmael is really good. However, I believe that the Murakumo team as a whole is much weaker than the Blade Lineage team. Not much weaker, but I prefer the Blade Lineage team. In terms of bleed, you're going to want to run Kindred anyway. In terms of poise, some Blade Lineage IDs just don't fall off, so you're going to still want to use Blade Lineage. However, Kurokumo clan, not really my kind of team. And for Ishmael, I'd recommend someone like Molar Boatworks because Molar-ish is a core to the sinking team because of her skill 3. If you take a look at her skill 3, it applies 5 sinking count. This is insane. No other ID in the game has this high of a count application. And yeah, so if you're running sinking, you're definitely going to want to pick Molar Boatwork Ishmael. Pequot Captain Ishmael is good. I'm not going to discount her or anything. All of her skills, her entire kit is incredible. But her sanity mechanics are really hard to work with. If you're running MDs daily, she's going to be a nightmare to work with. Absolute nightmare to work with. And trust me on this, her SP goes from like 45 to 0 in a single battle very quickly. But if you know what you're doing, you really know what you're doing, Captain Ish is very good as well. These 2 choices are samey in my opinion. Rodyon. I'd say Rodyon's best choice for the selector would be the Princess of LAMENT. One is because this bleed team is very good. You can't go wrong with that bleed team. That bleed team can carry you to the end of the game. All of the railway stations, all of the content, everything. Mirror Dungeon Extreme, all of that. Her other IDs aren't bad, but they don't hold a candle to the Princess of LAMENT. And then we have Sinclair. Now Sinclair has a couple of good IDs, namely being Sank Association and the One Who Shall Grip Sinclair. I don't have Sank Association Sinclair, but he is very good. That ID is very good. This one, Claire, is also really great. Although he is a bit dated. He is one of, if not the best negative coin ID in the game. If you need blood damage, he's going to dish it out in the thousands. Well, maybe not thousands, but he's very consistent with his damage. He doesn't really go on any teams. He's just really good on his own. Just plop him down and he'll do his work. Same with Sank Association Sinclair. Very good clasher, incredible damage. Especially with Sank Association mechanic where they gain speed all of the time. You're going to always be able to clash with the enemies you need to. Claire over here can't really do that because he doesn't have anything that buffs his speed. And one more thing is Claire is already good at uptie 3. You don't really ever need to uptie 4 him. So if you're really struggling to uptie 4, the One Who Shall Grip Sinclair is the better choice. Otherwise, I'd say Sank Association Sinclair is better right now. Outis. Now Outis is a weird situation because I don't think any of her IDs are worth using a whole selector on. Especially because every other sinner has such good IDs that you can use it on. So I'd say if you had to skip someone, then you'd want to skip on Outis. But if you really like Outis, she does have some really good IDs. Heisho Pack Outis is not bad. However, this is a free ID. And chances are, in the rerun of the event, you're going to be able to get her for free anyway. So you might not want to use the selector on her, especially since the selector is really incredibly rare, and she's not a very rare ID. You can get her for free in the shop. The Barber of La Mancha land. Now you could make a case for her, but Barber of La Mancha land is going to regrettably be a bad pick in my opinion. But if you really like her, you can still go for her, of course. Finally, we have Gregor. So for choices for Gregor, you're going to want to either pick Heisho for Rupture, Fire Fist for Burn, or the Priest for Bleed, of course. All three of these are good. It totally depends on which team you're running. If you're running Burn, you're going to want Fire Fist. If you're running Rupture, you're going to want to have C Gregor. If you're running Bleed, you're going to want to have the Priest, of course. Oh, and Gregor also has one more ID. This one is also incredible. I don't have this ID because I don't think I needed him. My sinking team was already good enough. But if you are running a sinking team, this is also an incredible ID. This ID is really strong. If you run him with Solemn Lament, the Ego, he's going to dish out insane numbers. Insane numbers. So if you're running a sinking team, you're going to want to get Linton Gregor. Yes. Okay, that about does it for the entire video. If you are really confused about who is the best out of the bunch, then I'd suggest you take Xilu Faust or Lord Honglu, and the third priority goes to the Thumb Capo Meursault. Okay? If you already have these big three, chances are you don't even need to think about who to choose in the selector because these three are already good enough for your account to be good for life. Unless Project Moon pulls some bullshit like create a 50 coin ID for some reason. They might actually do that in the future. I wouldn't even know. But yeah, that's about it. See ya.